Welcome to the facilities meeting. First, I'd like to open by thanking Mrs. Dolan for chairing over the past year.
Happy to do it.
Thank you for your service. In regards to public comment, same rules as under finance. So do we have any public comment? Nope. Okay. Moving on. Obsolete items for review. Mr. Galver.
All right.
You got the glasses.
All right, so we have items at Sellersville Elementary School. We have some projector bulbs and some library reading logs there. At North, we have some TV to recycle. At South Middle School, computer carts to scrap. They're in pretty bad shape and not used anymore. A lot of damage on them. Central Middle School, they are really starting to clean out over there. Some various gym equipment that's no longer being used that needs to be scrapped, and other various equipment that they have that they've kind of been accumulating things, and their new principals cleaning things out. So they're scrapping that other type of equipment. Transportation department, we have a number of booster seats, start seats, and so forth that are outdated and can no longer be used for our kids, so they're going to be scrapped. And then technology has some HP flat panel monitors that are going to go to public surplus, some Dell flat screen monitors to public surplus, and then the list of recycling for the technology department, monthly list. And at Dibler, we have the library reading log
Okay.
for public surplus.
Okay. Any comments or questions from board members, or everybody okay with moving this forward? Okay. Capital projects timeline.
Yes, so we'll let Kelly walk you through this. We wanted to remind you of this timeline, since the board did vote last, in the fall to approve the capital projects to go out to bid. So Kelly's going to give you an update of where Dewey's at, the work they've done to get us to this point, and what's going to happen from here on out. So that you all have an understanding of where we're going.
Okay.
Okay, so we have our mandatory bid advertisements based on the cost for go out the bid. It's advertised the 3 weeks in January, and in February we have mandatory pre-bid conferences scheduled for the different projects. That way we can have all the vendors, apparent vendors that are going to bid on it, come in, clarify any questions that they have, and we can make sure they're bidding appropriately and getting apples for apples. So we have the various projects scheduled back to back. The bid deadline and openings, February 19th at 2 p.m. We'll accept the bids here and have them opened, and then we'll bring them to the March Facilities Committee for review, and then the recommendation the following week at the school board meeting. The intent to award them, should the board approve them, would be March 26th. And the work would begin first day after school, tentatively, assuming there are no snow days that push us beyond that date. And the expected completion date of all these projects is August 23rd. That'll give teachers a week, maybe even 2 weeks to set up their classrooms, get in. There are a lot of the projects, and if you want to go through the individual projects, we can, but there's a lot of paving, and repairs. There's the air conditioning projects that we talked about in previous meetings for the large areas, the cafeterias and gyms. They'll all come back for your review. And if there's interest, we could have Dewey come in our next facilities committee to give you an update of where they're at with pricing, and just to give you a review what to expect as those bids are coming in for the following meeting in March. So if you do want to have them come in February to give you, here's what they're thinking, here's their updated numbers, and any
I
questions
think that
you
would be a
might
good
have.
idea.
We'll
Bring
have
them
them
in for
come in
that.
on that meeting next time then.
Okay.
Any questions about dates or projects?
Sure, where are you gonna advertise?
So we're in 2 newspapers. Jackie actually did those 2 advertisements, the Intelligencer, and what was the second one? So they're required to be local newspaper advertisements, and again, they're in next week.
Intelligence or morning call.
So being the new guy on the block, help me out with this a little bit, with how this really works. So you're advertising the bid. Do the prospective contractors go somewhere to get the bid specs, or how do they
Right.
get the bid specs?
Part of the advertisement tells them where to get the bid specs, and
Okay.
for all but one of these projects, that's Dewey, so it tells them exactly whether it's the website, an address, a phone number, a contact, and there's a nominal fee to get the specifications, because they can be quite large. So they'll pay that, they'll get the specifications. If there's any questions or addendums, that gets sent out to all the people that registered, paid,
Okay.
and it'll go out in
Gotcha.
that process, so everyone's on the same page.
Perfect. And the pre-bid conference is where?
That's in my office.
Okay.
1303 Fifth Street.
Perfect.
All of them?
Yes.
All of them. And board members are welcome, if they would like to attend any of those pre-bid conferences, you're more than welcome.
Well, that might be interesting, actually.
Okay.
I've never gone to one.
Pick which one, or do you want to go to all,
Are
and
there
spend the
donuts?
day there?
February 8th.
I mean, you are next to Dunkin' Donuts. I'm just saying it's not a
That's
necessity.
a Friday, right? February 8th, I believe.
February
6,
8th.
7, 8, yeah. Yes.
Okay.
And they can submit bids anytime between February 8th and February 19th?
Correct. They are due on February 19th up to 2 p.m.
Okay.
And that's when we'll open bids, and again, that's, board members are welcome to come to that if you would like to experience that. But not required. None of this is required for you to be
I
at,
don't
we just want you to know that.
I don't like
when it's
opening the
happening.
mail.
What's that?
I don't like opening the mail at home.
I was just wondering, so you have district-wide elementary school air conditioning installation projects. You'd mentioned that no one is big enough to, or did you say everyone is big enough to, do you expect, sorry, do you expect someone to bid on all of those at once? To do the whole thing, or are you splitting it up, or are you doing it in different ways?
That's
Different
going to be
combinations.
up to Dewey, however
Depends
they
who's
think
bidding.
best. I think it's going to be broken up into 2 different projects, honestly. If there's one contractor that can do it, fine, but it's going to be, I think we're going to do it 2 ways. If the contractor wants to bid on all projects, that's fine. And then they could break it up into different projects at that point. And again, we'll provide a summary for the facilities committee to review and recommend at that point. What do you think is our best interest moving forward?
So they'll give us what the options are that they're planning on giving to the group to bid on, is that what you're saying? For
Right,
the
so-
pre-bid meeting?
So of the various, right, we'll bring you the summary and a recommendation, what we think is the best. And
Okay.
we can talk about it then, but
You mean the bid results?
the bid results, yes.
I think
I-
she's talking
yeah.
about prior to that, and how are the bidders going to be instructed on how to bid on this project? What she's asking, right?
I would need to see the exact specs that haven't been fully developed yet. It hasn't gone out to bid. I don't know if they have it broken down, if it's building by building, or if it's
A grouping or?
north, south, however they're gonna do those groupings. I'm not sure how that's broken down yet, but
So when that's all broken down, would you be able to send that to us,
oh,
so we have all that
absolutely.
information?
If you want those bid specs, we could provide that.
I don't mean like the whole
electronic.
specs. I mean like, well, we're
Just that
combining, just to,
breakdown?
you know, like, we're combining, we're doing one option where you can bid on all of them at once. We're doing an option where it's broken up by these buildings and, you know, the basis behind those, you know, why we're doing it
Right,
those
the same.
ways, right?
Yeah. Nope, I can do that.
I don't
Perfect,
want
thank
the
you.
whole bid specs like last year, although it was interesting. Do you have like an overview of each project you could give us? Or Dewey could provide us?
I'm sure we could
Like,
get you something, right. I'm
This
sure you
is
don't
this,
want a
at
binder
Guth
page by
Elementary, we're
page.
doing this part of paving and this part of
Mhm.
paving. I mean, you're not obviously paving.
I actually have a summary sheet that's a little bit bigger than this, but
I have that.
by the year, that's a,
I mean,
I
like, you don't
love
have
it.
any other like detailed, like,
More detailed
okay, at
description.
Bedminster, this is more or less what we're doing.
I can get that for you.
Okay,
Right, because some of these projects have changed slightly, especially paving. The original paving evaluation was a few years ago, and things have deteriorated a little bit more than was expected. So some things that were just a crack sealing may now be partial mill and overlay, so prices are gonna change a little bit, but we're trying to contain it within the budget numbers that were originally projected by altering things slightly throughout the entire phase of the project. They're trying to stay on budget, but things have changed a little bit. And maybe one school's a little bit more expensive than expected, maybe one's a little bit cheaper, but we'll bring that to you next meeting to give you some clarity on that.
And
But a
then,
summary, yes. Get
okay,
a summary for the projects.
okay, that would be good. And then, just out of curiosity, I won't be able to come to your bid meeting on the 8th, although I wanted to. Do they get any type of information or paperwork at those meetings about the projects, or?
So that would be review of all the specs, so they're gonna get those big binders and all the drawings, all the contractors that come to participate. And that's their opportunity to say, I don't understand this, or this doesn't make sense, so that we can give them better clarity, so they all bid on the exact same thing.
Okay,
That's
okay.
at the pre-bid, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I only have one question regarding the contracts, and again, being new to this, I don't know if I'm asking something that is an obvious answer. We're looking to have work completed by August 23rd,
That's the
right?
absolute
Right.
latest deadline. I think we're actually a week before that, the 17th,
So-
for most of these projects.
So as part of the bid package, is there late performance-based penalties?
Yeah, so they're
Okay.
typically, I don't know what that value is, but it's a
Okay.
daily penalty if you're beyond the
Okay.
completion date, as long as it's not an owner delay.
Okay.
If we didn't cause a
Right.
delay on their
Okay,
part.
and on the opposite side of that, are there performance incentives? Okay,
Not that I'm
okay.
aware of.
We'll pay you.
That's a good incentive.
Get it done,
I
we'll
like
pay you. Okay, no, thank you.
My other question is, and it was
Sounds
not
great.
originally on this, is the various food service equipment for the projects. Can you tell us what and why and,
So-
because that one's new, so we hadn't talked about that one yet.
Separate budget, and maybe Sean wants to
Yeah.
address that, that's food services
That's,
budget.
Yeah.
there's one thing we're doing this summer, which is a walk-in freezer at Dodler. And that's not part of the general fund, that's part of the food service department.
Okay,
And, but what we do is we will take the projects we need to do in the food service department and we will support them through Dewey and this process so that those projects get the same support and the same professional view and the same look that the projects that are being paid for by the general fund do.
so you're looking for like an HVAC or
No, this one is a walk-in freezer.
It's a freezer.
yeah.
Mechanical, everything.
No. Never mind. Yeah. Okay. So you're looking for bids for somebody to install a freezer,
Yeah.
a new walk-in freezer. I just wasn't sure what that one was because it was never on
Yeah.
any of this stuff that we talked about, and it doesn't come out of the capital
Correct.
funds budget.
Correct. We
It
use
comes
the-
out of the food service
Yep,
budget.
We use the food service funds for that.
And I know all these have like estimated values to them. Do you have an estimated amount for that project? And is it in the budget for food service?
Yes, it will be in next year's budget for food service. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. She did share that with me, what the estimate is for that.
Okay.
But we can get
You'll
through.
get that back, yeah.
Refrigeration guy, that's what I was looking for. I was really looking for somebody from refrigeration to come and do that. Okay. That was the only one that I had a question on, because we hadn't seen it before.
So I can tell my contacts about this, right? Like, from my subcontractors that work in my like they can do a bid?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah, anyone can bid.
Yep,
awesome. I don't know, get the morning call.
yeah, just,
Read the
yeah,
paper.
right, just, because that'll tell them where to go get the information.
That's what
Yeah.
that's what yeah. I just put it on the calendar and
Yep.
sent an invite.
Do you advertise on, online at all? Like, is it on our website?
Mhm.
Well, it should be.
It is on our website?
Usually.
And then I know you can sign up for bid alerts, like via email, like local contractors get bid alerts in their email. I do. I didn't know if it was, yeah. I didn't know if we, what website do you send
They
them to
contact
send them
us.
out?
They those contractors, or they bid companies, they contact us.
Oh,
And then I
okay.
send them the information.
And then they pick it up on theirs, yeah. So they look for the advertisements and then they kind of
Email
piggyback
them.
on that. And then they do their own thing. But unfortunately, we're required to have, school districts, the law is so archaic, we are required to advertise
in the
in
paper.
two public newspapers. Where we could put it on our website and do the thing like you're talking about and blast it out to contractors for next to nothing. But
Oh,
we
yeah.
spend thousands of dollars in advertising
They're
because that's
so
what the
expensive
school
to
code.
advertise in the
Yeah,
newspaper.
that's what school code says we have to do. It's the rules from 1949 is
It's
what
well
it is.
outdated.
So someone
a lot
should,
bigger.
so someone should reach out to PDE, is that what you're saying?
Well, it has to be changed by.
Legislature.
the
Oh, legislators?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so write your legislators.
Yeah, good luck with that. Okay, any other questions about the capital projects timeline? All right, moving on to the results of the water testing. Survey sets.
So pleased to announce after your approval to move forward with that every source that was tested is within the 15 parts per billion. It's under that. The results are published in board docs. There are some numbers that aren't zero, so if you see ND, that's non-detect or zero. Everything else is within the parameters that we're allowed to be within. Some of them, maybe one that's at a 9. We'll look
There's
at,
two, yeah.
we'll look at those
That's the other one, I saw that.
faucets and things and potentially replace them to try to reduce, but our goal obviously would be 0. But the reason that we're at 15 parts per billion by the state is that's what they've set a value on. It's reasonable to expect people to do things to reduce your contaminants within your building to that number. So everything's good and we'll work on trying to lower the numbers that we do have, but we're in compliance right now.
Excellent. Yeah, I saw that, it looks like you have two stations, one at Grass and one, the nurse at Grass,
Yeah.
which was
Which is
kind of
ironic.
odd. Yeah.
And then the
And,
nurse at Bevins.
and the water fountain at, in the cafe at Sellersville.
Yep.
So maybe, we can.
And then kitchen prep
them.
in Siler is getting up there too.
That's 7.
So one of my first steps for that is it'll likely be a summer project, or maybe we'll do it in between. We'll replace the faucet, and then we'll end up doing a test for those to see if that was the culprit, or is it the valves
Is it
under the
further
sink,
back?
or what it might be beyond that. But as of right now, we're in compliance, but we'll try to get there.
Perfect, yeah.
And then is it possible, should we is there a way to share this information with specific buildings and maybe, if they can guide people to the ones that have even lower number, you know what I mean? Like,
Don't use this one, no, I don't want to see
Well-
big signs.
well,
Yeah, that would
no, but I
It's
mean,
safe
like,
to use.
the nurse's office at Grass,
It's
like,
safe.
letting them know, maybe if they have a choice, and if they have a choice, maybe use this other one instead. I don't know. Or you-
That's a tough one, so
We're within safe limits,
for,
right?
for compliance, we
I get it, but you're
either
talking
have
about an elementary nurse's office,
But-
and
Yeah, but it's.
But Meg,
I mean, I guess people aren't or how often are people drinking the water in
Well,
the
I think
nurse's
to
office?
administer medicine things.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
And I'm sure that if
Very
they're in an
minimal.
office, is there a water cooler? You could,
Well, that's what I'm saying. So
Say,
maybe
hey.
just looking at what's a different option that maybe isn't the 9.76. I mean, it's,
you Take it out of service or you don't, the way I read this, yeah.
so another thing to consider is what do you want to do with this information?
Right.
So our two choices were don't test and talk about lead water issues in schools at a public meeting, or do the testing, and if you have anything over 15 parts per billion, notify PDE and take corrective actions. We're in compliance
Yes.
testing and you
Right.
knowing where the results are. If you want to make it
I'd
public,
rather.
you're gonna
make
have
it
people
public.
ask the same kind of questions. Well, do we want 9? Is that okay? It's a decision for you to make how you wanna address.
Well, I think those ones that are up there that you're talking about switching out the faucets and seeing if that makes a difference. I think.
But we should be able to make a generalized statement
That we're in
I think we should
compliance.
that
I
we
think we
are,
should post
we've
it
had,
on our
all-
website.
we've had
Yeah.
all the buildings tested and we're in compliance with the regulations.
and I think there should be a link to the results.
Like-
People deserve to know.
That's how you wanna proceed with this.
Well,
It's
I
up to you.
agree,
Um,
and I think
A
it's,
little nervous about
I
that.
agree with Mrs. Dolan, and I think that there's no harm in letting people
Because we're in
We're in
compliance.
compliance,
Yeah.
and even if we weren't, we would, there's no harm in letting them know that we are making it compliant.
And the
But
harm you're gonna try and
15 parts per
remediate
billion.
to get lower.
Mm.
Well, isn't,
15 parts per billion.
this is public,
pretty
isn't
low.
this? Isn't this?
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is
low.
public
this
right now on
meeting is
Board
a public
Docs.
meeting.
No, but
yeah.
I mean the
The
results,
document.
the
True.
document is public right now on Board Docs. So we already made it public,
Yeah.
so it's
Oh,
public.
Below. Yes.
So just make
Because
sure.
we're transparent, we make everything public, so it's public. We,
Yeah. Make sure you
I
know
just mean if you're gonna
that
put a
you're going
statement
to
on the website
remediate it.
or
Yeah.
a statement
Yeah,
wherever,
like here we
have
are.
a link to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
oh,
link.
yeah, link to this on Board
But
Docs.
can I just
already-
point out that these high numbers are not water fountains, they're sinks.
Well, there is
Okay.
one water
Where's
fountain
one water
Well,
fountain?
there's
in
one
the
water.
cafeteria at Sellersville, so I would say that one,
That
in my
one-
mind, would be the one really
Your
to,
priority, yeah.
a high priority to find out
Right.
what
But
it
your
is.
nurse, your nurse, the two nurse sinks are sinks, so,
Yeah,
you
they're
know,
probably not drinking out of it.
I don't think they are, cause don't they usually
Most
give
kids
them a
are bringing
bottle
their,
of water?
most kids are bringing their own water bottles.
So
Yeah.
like even if they take a pill that's administered by the nurse, are they given tap water? I don't know, but
Maybe.
like how big is the
It's-
little dispense, you know, so.
Yeah, it's like a little cup.
Yeah, I do think that if that, your priority is gonna be that one water.
The thing that people
On those
obviously drink
elevated
from.
ones, yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay,
We got the staff to do it.
good,
Nice work.
okay, thank you.
And
Oh,
so much.
it actually
How-
came in under budget, it was originally 4,000,
Yeah.
so we came in at 3,300.
Way to be, Kelly.
Hey.
Right.
You can
Like
stay.
under budget.
This week.
Like under budget.
And did you learn how to do it? And like, I know we talked about doing it in-house. Do you think it's something that you would be able to do?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
It's not really complicated, just understanding the process. There's a whole, getting the bottles from the laboratory and Plymouth Meeting is the closest place that does the certified lead testing.
Mhm.
There's a lot of labeling, chain of custody, and
Yeah.
those sort of things. Actually taking the samples, getting them right down to the lab. So we could do it, it's just gonna take some time to get it done. But yes, we could do it in-house.
Perfect.
I wasn't sure how you felt on that front.
Okay,
Nice.
thank you.
Welcome.
All right, the next Facilities Committee meeting is scheduled for February 12th. And we're back to public comment. Nothing tonight, Mrs. Fairlawn? All right,
Obsolete is obsolete.
thank you so much. All right, thank you all for coming.
All right.
Have a great night.
All right, thank you.